Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Just Saying video. I'm Shay, always with,
Jarris.
and this is our college football playoff bracket prediction.
That's right. We're going to be going through every single matchup, starting with the quarterfinals, explaining, what we think, making our picks, why we think every game is going to be an upset. Probably not. And we're going to find out why we're completely wrong. And let us know why we're wrong down in the comments below.
Yeah, I want to see those comments. So without further ado, we are going to start. So starting with Clemson, who is the worst ranked team in the college football playoffs at 16, but they're the 12th seed. They're going to take on the third seed, or the third ranked team, sorry, the 5th seed. It all gets confusing. With the Texas Longhorns, Jarris, is Clemson going to upset Texas, or are the Horns going to keep on going?
No, Texas will win over Clemson, and it's probably going to be by a good margin.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think even though Clemson had a great final game in the ACC championship to win it, I think Texas is just a better team. So the Longhorns are going to beat the Tigers. I agree with you there. Moving on, above this in the bracket, the number 6th ranked and 8th seed Ohio State University Buckeyes going up against the 7th ranked number 9 seed Tennessee Volunteers. Jarris, are the Vols going to upset the Buccos?
Yes. Tennessee will win over Ohio State. I think this game will be a little bit closer, probably a one-score game, but Tennessee will come out on top and move on to play Oregon.
Ooh, interesting. I agree with you. I think Tennessee is going to beat Ohio State as well. I just don't think Ohio State is as good as they think they are and their fans think they are. I strongly dislike Ohio State, so maybe there's some bias in there as well. But I think, the Volunteers are going to upset Ohio State and move on to play Oregon.
Yeah, there is quite an amount of bias in these rankings as well. So moving on to the top right corner of the bracket, we have Indiana taking on Notre Dame. Indiana is the 8th ranked team, the 10th seed, and Notre Dame is the 5th ranked team, the number 7 seed. So Shay, who do you think is going to come out on top? Will the Fighting Irish take down Indiana?
As much as I want the Fighting Irish to get back to the promised land and, win it all, and for the first time in decades, I think, especially because it is the first year of this 12-team college football playoff, in glorious Notre Dame fashion, they're going to get upset by Indiana. It's just what they do. I would not be surprised. Indiana's going to go into, Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, Indiana, and for the first time since 1900 on a Friday night, beat the Fighting Irish at home.
Bam. Well, I will take one for your team, and I will pick Notre Dame to beat Indiana at home and move on to play Georgia.
Okay. I hope that's the case. We get steamrolled by Georgia, but
we'll see. Moving on to the lower right portion of the bracket, SMU, who is the 10th ranked team and the 11th seed, is taking on Penn State, the number 4 ranked team and the 6th seed. Shay, do you have Penn State beating SMU, or is SMU going to pull off the upset?
Let me tell you what. Happy Valley is going to be bonkers when they play this game. I want to say congrats to SMU on a fantastic year that nobody saw coming, really. But Penn State's going to win.
Yeah, I agree. Penn State will win against SMU and move on to play Boise State. in the semifinal.
That's right. Now we're going to move on to the left side of the semifinal bracket.
That's right. Now we got Tennessee taking on the number 1 seeded Oregon, who is also the number 1 ranked team.
Correct.
Shay, will Tennessee pull off the upset against the Ducks?
No.
I agree. Oregon is just too good. They've had a fantastic season. Their quarterback, one of the Heisman finalists, and that offense is just humming. They were the only undefeated team this season
Correct.
in college football.
Correct.
So yes, Oregon will win over Tennessee.
That's right.
Moving on, we have the surprising as well Arizona State, who most analysts picked to finish last
Mm-hmm.
in the Big 12, and they won the entire conference and won the championship game to get the bye. The 12th ranked team in the AP poll rankings
Mm-hmm.
is the number 4 seed overall, and they will be taking on Texas, which will not be easy at all.
No.
So who do you think comes out on top?
Give me the Longhorns. They're just the better team. Kudos to Arizona State for defying the odds and proving everybody wrong. Absolutely. But the Big 12 is not the strongest conference by far. And Texas plays in the strongest conference, the SEC right now. The Big 10 would definitely argue that, but I don't see any way that Texas would lose to Arizona State and the Sun Devils.
Yeah, that would be a major, major upset.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I wouldn't be angry if that happened.
No,
That'd be good for them.
Yeah, I would not be angry either.
And then they would move on to play Oregon.
Yeah.
So moving on to the right side of the bracket, for me, I'll have Notre Dame playing Georgia, and for Shay, he'll have Indiana playing Georgia. So Shay, for you first, will Indiana win against Georgia, or will Georgia move on?
Georgia will easily move on.
Yeah, I have the same thing. Even though I picked Notre Dame, Georgia will win. They've been a machine for as long as anyone can remember. And even though they suffered a few losses, including that streak that was broken with like 30-some games straight, they just find a way to get it done. They're like the Kansas City Chiefs of college football.
Yeah, pretty much.
So moving on, Penn State will then versus Boise State. Shay, who do you taking in that matchup?
Because this will be at a neutral site and no longer in Happy Valley or over in Boise State. Give me the Boise State Broncos.
And that, just some kid they have named Genty, who only set records for a running back.
Yeah, and that by ranking would be an upset, by seeding would not.
Oh, yeah. True. Yeah.
So give me Boise State.
All right, Shay. So for the semifinals, who do we have?
We both have Oregon. I mean, come on. And Texas. Oregon Ducks versus the Texas Longhorns. Number 1 ranked and seeded versus number 3 ranked, 5th seeded. So, Jairus, are the Ducks going to the championship?
I think the Ducks will go to the championship. They'll definitely verse Texas, who is a stronger opponent for sure. But yeah, the Ducks will move on. They're the favorites to win it all, and they will get to the championship. All right, moving on to the right side again. So Shay, we'll both have actually Georgia and Boise State
Correct.
in the semifinal. The number 2 ranked, number 2 seeded, and number 9 ranked, number 3 seeded, face off. Genty, who was the best running back in college by far, not even close.
Correct.
But he will be facing Georgia's defense, who has the number 1 rushing defense in college football.
Yep.
By far. So
Year
Shay,
after year.
who comes out on top?
I hate to say it, but them Bulldogs.
And I unfortunately have to agree. like we said, Georgia just finds the way to win. So that means our championship matchup will be the number 1 and number 2 seeded and ranked Oregon Ducks versus the Georgia Bulldogs.
Honestly, if this does happen, I mean, what am I saying? This will happen. We're going to be perfect. It's going to be
with our luck, it will be like Notre Dame versus Clemson.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. This would be a good game. I think. I think if Georgia wins, it would be because of their defense, and if Oregon wins, it's just going to be because of their offense, and it was unstoppable, which has been the case all year long. And I just think it is finally Oregon's time to win their first national championship.
Yeah, this is the best year for them to do it, for sure. So I agree. I think the Oregon Ducks will be the college football champions.
There you have it. That's it.
That's our bracket. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. And if you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe, because if you don't, it hurts our feelings. And with that, we will see you in the next one.